What if a single document could reshape the entire U.S. government, concentrating power in ways we haven't seen in decades? Project 2025, a 900-page plan from the Heritage Foundation, has ignited fierce debate. Praised as a roadmap for efficient governance by some, criticized as a risky power grab by others. What's the truth behind this controversial blueprint? Here's the breakdown on Mega Fact Attack. Project 2025, formerly the 2025 Presidential Transition Project, is an ambitious initiative spearheaded by the Heritage Foundation, a respected conservative think tank with a 50-year legacy of influencing Republican policy. Launched in 2022, it aims to equip President Donald Trump, sworn in as the 47th president in January 2025, with a comprehensive strategy to enact conservative reforms from day one. This plan rests on 4 pillars: a 900-page policy guide called Mandate for Leadership, a database to recruit loyal government personnel, training for conservative appointees, and a 180-day action plan. Over 100 organizations, including America First Legal and Moms for Liberty, collaborated on it, supported by a $22 million budget. The Mandate for Leadership details reforms for every federal agency, from the Department of Energy to the FDA. Heritage has produced similar guides since 1981, with Reagan implementing 60% of its recommendations, and Trump adopting 64% in his first term. Project 2025, however, is notable for its scope, emphasizing the unitary executive theory, which supports stronger presidential oversight of federal agencies. Supporters argue it restores accountability to a bureaucracy they see it as efficient and left-leaning. Critics claim it risks excessive centralization. Why the attention? Democrats, like Kamala Harris, have labeled it extremist, using it as a campaign talking point. Trump has publicly distanced himself, stating on social media he's unfamiliar with the plan, despite contributions from 140 former administration officials, including 6 cabinet secretaries. So, what's inside this document? Here's the core of it. Project 2025's Mandate for Leadership spans 920 pages, addressing issues from immigration to education. Here's its key proposals. Strengthening presidential authority. The plan advocates for greater White House control over federal agencies, reviving Schedule F from Trump's first term to streamline the removal of underperforming civil servants and hire aligned personnel. Supporters say this ensures agencies reflect the president's mandate. Critics, like the ACLU, warn it could politicize independent institutions. Immigration reform. It proposes robust enforcement, such as ending exemptions for sensitive locations like schools during immigration actions and expanding border security operations. It also suggests higher fees for immigrants and fewer visas for certain groups, aligning with Trump's focus on border control, though his 2025 deportation plans are broader. Social policy reforms. The plan prioritizes traditional values, recommending restrictions on the abortion pill mifepristone, excluding contraception from Affordable Care Act mandates, and limiting transgender healthcare policies. It also calls for abolishing the Department of Education, favoring state-led education and school choice programs. Critics argue this could weaken public schools. National security and foreign policy. Project 2025 emphasizes streamlined military decision-making and a reduced role for intelligence agencies, reflecting a more America First approach. Its Project Esther initiative targets pro-Palestinian activism as potential terrorist support, raising concerns about free speech from groups like Center for Constitutional Rights. These proposals aren't just ideas. Time magazine reported that several of Trump's early 2025 executive actions, such as limiting abortion funding, reflect Project 2025's priorities. However, Trump's broader deportation goals aren't explicitly detailed in the plan. Is this a practical conservative agenda or a step too far? Here's both perspectives. The case for. Advocates, led by Heritage's Kevin Roberts, argue Project 2025 is a vital response to an overreaching, unelected bureaucracy that often obstructs conservative policies. They point to Heritage's track record. Reagan and Trump successfully used past mandate plans to cut taxes and regulations. On X, supporters call it a plan to restore government efficiency and uphold voter priorities, resonating with frustrations over federal overreach. The initiative's transparency and coalition of over 100 groups show a unified conservative vision to support Trump's second term in delivering on campaign promises like border security and deregulation. The case against. Critics, including the ACLU and Democracy Forward, argue the plan threatens democratic checks and balances by concentrating power in the presidency. They warn that policies like Schedule F could disrupt agency expertise, with scholars like Mary Guy predicting instability in public services. Social proposals, such as restricting mifepristone, are seen as out of step with mainstream voters, risking alienation. Democrats like Kamala Harris have framed it as an extreme agenda to curb abortion and LGBTQ rights. X posts from opponents call it a strongman playbook, citing Robert's Second American Revolution remark, though he clarified it as peaceful if unopposed. The reality? Project 2025's ambitious scope and deep ties to Trump's allies give it significant influence. And with Trump's approval rating currently riding high in 2025, its momentum may be bolstered. However, Trump's public denial of the plan and political backlash from critics could moderate its rollout. The Heritage Foundation's track record shows they'll push forward regardless of obstacles. So, how is it unfolding under Trump's leadership? Here's the evidence. With Trump leading the nation, Project 2025's influence is visible. Time reported that many of Trump's initial executive orders, like those restricting abortion funding, align with the mandate. Key contributors such as John Ratcliffe, nominated CIA director, and Peter Navarro, trade advisor, hold prominent roles in his administration. X posts highlight early moves like federal layoffs and agency restructuring, mirroring the plan's call to streamline the bureaucracy. Still, there's resistance. Trump's team emphasizes their Agenda 47 as the official platform, and some priorities, like mass deportations, exceed Project 2025's scope. Legal challenges are mounting. The ACLU has pledged court battles over immigration, reproductive, and LGBTQ policies. The plan's high profile, fueled by Democratic campaigns, may limit its rollout as Trump navigates political risks. Yet, with Heritage's deep connection to the administration, dismissing its role seems unlikely. So, what's ahead? The 180-day playbook pushes for swift action, but courts, Congress, and public sentiment could pose obstacles. The question remains, is this a bold conservative reform or a risky overreach? Project 2025 is a polarizing force, celebrated by conservatives as a strategic fix for an inefficient system, criticized by others as a threat to democratic balance. Its proposals, from empowering the presidency to advocating traditional values, are shaping Trump's second term as president. But legal and political challenges may curb its reach. The Heritage Foundation's legacy shows they're committed for the long haul. So what's your take? Is Project 2025 a needed overhaul or a step too far? Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us what conspiracy we should tackle next. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more Mega Fact Attack. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.